The conference center looked beautiful in the bright morning sunlight, but by the end of that day, it became the place where everything I believed about pride, forgiveness, and second chances was challenged. The moment the receptionist smiled apologetically and handed us one room key instead of two, I felt my stomach tighten. Then I saw who was standing beside me. My workplace rival. The woman who had turned every meeting into a silent battle, every project into a competition, and every success into another reason for us to resent each other. She looked at the key, looked at me, and quietly whispered, "One bed. Don't make it awkward." In that single moment, I was convinced the next 48 hours would be a disaster. I had no idea they would become the most unforgettable days of my life. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can change even the hardest hearts and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Echoes of Hope for more emotional stories that stay with you long after they end. My name is Rowan Mercer, and I had worked at Northbridge Solutions for almost 4 years. I was known for being disciplined, organized, and focused. Promotions mattered to me because I had spent most of my life proving that I could rise above difficult circumstances. Growing up with a single father who worked 2 jobs taught me that nothing worthwhile came easily. Every achievement felt earned through sacrifice. That was why I disliked my coworker, Mireya Holt, so intensely. She was talented, confident, charming, and somehow always seemed one step ahead of me. Whenever management praised my work, they praised hers just a little more. Whenever I finished a project, she somehow found a smarter solution. We never argued openly, but our cold smiles and polite conversations hid years of silent competition. When the company announced a mandatory team-building retreat in the mountains, nobody seemed excited except the executives who insisted it would strengthen collaboration. I planned to survive the weekend quietly. Instead, a booking mistake left only one room available for both of us. The hotel was completely full because of a regional business conference. There were no spare rooms anywhere nearby. Complaining would not change anything. We simply had to deal with it. The room itself was surprisingly peaceful. Large windows overlooked endless green hills glowing under the afternoon sun. Birds drifted across the clear blue sky while a gentle breeze carried the scent of pine trees through the open balcony door. The only problem was the single queen-sized bed sitting squarely in the middle of the room, making the situation impossible to ignore. We avoided eye contact while unpacking. Every movement felt stiff, every silence uncomfortable. Neither of us wanted to admit how ridiculous the situation was. The retreat schedule was packed with outdoor activities. During obstacle courses, strategy games, and problem-solving exercises, the organizers intentionally paired us together, believing rivals often learned the most from cooperation. At first, we barely spoke except when absolutely necessary. Our communication was mechanical and cold. Yet despite our tension, we consistently outperformed every other team. We anticipated each other's strengths almost instinctively. She understood details I overlooked. I noticed risks she ignored. Together we became unexpectedly effective, although neither of us wanted to admit it. That evening, after dinner, everyone gathered around a bonfire beneath a sky painted with orange and purple colors as the sun slowly disappeared behind the mountains. One by one, employees shared stories about challenges they had overcome. Some spoke about career failures. Others shared family struggles. I stayed quiet, believing personal stories had no place at work. Mireya also remained silent, staring into the fire as though lost somewhere far away. Back in our room, the silence returned. It was uncomfortable but strangely less hostile than before. As darkness settled outside, I noticed a small framed photograph fall from her travel bag onto the floor. She quickly picked it up, but not before I caught a glimpse of a smiling elderly woman sitting beside a younger Mireya. Her expression changed instantly, becoming softer than I had ever seen at the office. For the first time, I realized there was a person behind the competitor I had spent years trying to defeat. The next morning began with a hiking challenge through forest trails surrounded by sunlight filtering gently through tall trees. Halfway along the path, heavy clouds gathered without warning. Rain poured down within minutes, soaking everyone completely. The trail became slippery, and one of our teammates twisted an ankle. While everyone hesitated, Mireya immediately took charge, helping support the injured coworker without thinking about winning the competition. I joined her, and together we slowly guided our teammate back towards safety. The race no longer mattered. Getting everyone home safely did. During the long walk back, conversation finally came naturally. She admitted she hated hiking but loved forests because her grandmother used to take her on nature walks every summer. When I mentioned my father, she listened instead of interrupting. There was no competition in those moments, only two exhausted people sharing ordinary memories beneath falling rain. That night, power briefly went out after the storm. The room became quiet except for rainfall tapping gently against the windows. We sat near the balcony wrapped in hotel blankets, watching distant flashes of lightning illuminate the hills. Without the distractions of work, presentations, or deadlines, walls that had taken years to build began falling apart. She eventually explained the photograph. Her grandmother had raised her after her parents died in a car accident when she was 8 years old. Everything Mireya accomplished had been for the woman who sacrificed everything to give her a future. But 6 months earlier, her grandmother had passed away after a long illness. Mireya returned to work only days later because she didn't know how to deal with grief. Competing had become her way of avoiding loneliness. I listened quietly because there was nothing clever to say. Then she surprised me again by apologizing. She admitted she had often been unnecessarily competitive because she saw me as the only person capable of matching her professionally. Instead of respecting me, she treated me like an opponent. Her honesty made me uncomfortable because it forced me to face my own mistakes. I confessed that I had judged her unfairly from the beginning. Every success of hers felt like my failure, even when she had done nothing wrong. I had created an enemy inside my own mind. The following day became the final challenge of the retreat. Each team had to complete a complicated leadership exercise involving navigation, planning, and trust. This time, we worked naturally. We encouraged teammates instead of controlling them. We celebrated small victories instead of chasing individual recognition. By the end of the competition, our group finished first, but the victory felt different. It belonged to everyone. As the closing ceremony ended under warm afternoon sunshine, the company director praised our teamwork, mentioning how remarkable it was that two employees known for professional rivalry had become the strongest partnership during the retreat. Everyone applauded, but I realized the real achievement had nothing to do with awards. When we packed our bags to leave, the room that had once felt like a prison somehow felt meaningful. That awkward shared bed had never become the problem we imagined because something far more important had happened. We had learned to see each other as human beings instead of competitors. Back at the office, small changes slowly transformed everything. Meetings became conversations rather than battles. Credit was shared fairly. Projects improved because we combined our strengths instead of hiding ideas from each other. Other coworkers noticed the difference almost immediately. The tension that had quietly divided our department for years gradually disappeared. Several months later, I received the promotion I had dreamed about. Surprisingly, the happiest person in the office after me was Mireya. She congratulated me with genuine pride, and I realized her success no longer threatened mine. Weeks later, when she earned an even bigger leadership opportunity, I applauded just as sincerely. One afternoon, she invited me to visit the small botanical garden where her grandmother used to spend weekends. Bright flowers stretched beneath clear daytime skies while butterflies drifted lazily through the warm air. She smiled more peacefully than I had ever seen. Standing there among blooming gardens, she thanked me for listening during that stormy night in the hotel. I laughed because I thought she had changed my life far more than I had changed hers. The truth is that some people enter our lives disguised as rivals because they are carrying invisible pain we cannot see. Pride keeps us separated. Assumptions build walls. Competition blinds us to kindness. But sometimes life places us in uncomfortable situations not to punish us, but to reveal the humanity we almost overlooked. Whenever I remember that strange weekend, I no longer think about the embarrassment of sharing one bed with my workplace rival. I remember the rain, the quiet conversations, the honesty, and the realization that every person we meet is fighting battles hidden beneath professional smiles. We spend so much energy trying to win against each other that we forget how much stronger we become when we stand together.